Good
Hello.
morning, everybody. We're back. JayPing checking in. Respect my region. Hannah, how you living?
Hello. Good morning, everybody. Over on the East
Man, we're
Coast, the
back.
West Coast, all over.
At episode 10 of the Morning Joint podcast. Hannah, we've made it this far. How are you doing? What are you thinking? Are you excited for today's topics?
Yeah, I think every week we have great topics, a great list, a lineup of cannabis, psychedelic news, hip hop news, EDM news. I feel like we cover just a great range for our audience, for anyone that may be tuning in across all of our platforms across the country. Very excited about what we have to talk about today.
It's going to be a good one. Today we've got we've got a bunch of good stuff. So you've got some updates in Alabama, some big major losses, hemp feeds reducing stress in cattle. Mexico's doing some big stuff. Music-wise, we just had EDC, right? We just had the Grammys. So there's a bunch of good shit in the world. Would you like to start off today, ladies first, per usual? Or should
Sure.
I run? Should I talk your ears off?
Okay, if you want to start off, because I'm not fully
Okay, well
prepared
let's
yet.
do this. Let's take a second and get our priorities straight here. Everybody, good morning. Good morning. Good morning. LinkedIn, YouTube. Give you guys a second to tune in. One moment here. Smoking on some West Coast Cannabis Club. Pineapple chem cookies. All right. So, everybody, first things first, I'm going to read through some music and cannabis stuff. Hannah's going to read through some music and cannabis stuff. So, let's dive right in, shall we? I'm going to boot her on out of here and we'll bring her right back. Make sure you guys like, follow, subscribe, talk that shit, and tap back in here in about 10 minutes. Let's go. All right, Hannah. See you in a second.
Let's go. Take it away.
All right, you guys. First things first, we're with the main topic that is a part of the title today, coming out of marijuanamoment.net. You guys, the Alabama Senate Committee has approved a bill that forces women who want medical marijuana to show negative pregnancy tests. Absolutely insane. Now, I can understand, I can almost begin to appreciate some of the thought process here. But again, can we please let women have their control their rights and let their say? Can we please, as men, stop dictating a lot of this stuff? Absolutely blows my mind. Alabama senators on last Thursday approved a controversial bill in committee that would require women of childbearing age to prove that they're not pregnant in order to buy from dispensaries. What the hell? It was also amended to make it so doctors would not be permitted to issue medical cannabis recommendations to women between 13 to 50 without first obtaining a negative pregnancy test from the patient. Oh my God. The Senate Children, Youth, and Human Services Committee passed the amended SB 324, sponsored by Senator Larry Stutz, Republican, in a 7-2 vote. It then advanced to a second reading in the full chamber hours later, but still requires a third reading vote or potentially being transmitted to the House. The bill contains several pieces of language that would create restrictions for women who participate in the state's limited medical marijuana program, which was enacted last year. In order to purchase medical cannabis products under the bill, women between the ages of 25 and 50 would be required to produce a negative pregnancy test either from her physician or documentation from a certified medical lab that has been ordered by a physician licensed in Alabama. Despite facing sharp resistance from drug policy and civil rights activists, the bill amended passed out of the committee and moved to the floor. This is just disgusting to me. This legislation further specifies that the negative pregnancy test required for women trying to buy medical must be dated within 48 hours of purchase before she may purchase any medical cannabis, except in the capacity as a registered caregiver. I'm so sad about this, mainly because I just don't understand Alabama. You guys got to understand that we come from Seattle. Not everybody on our team comes from Seattle, but our brand is built in a Seattle culture, in a Washington state culture, in a progressive culture, in a liberal culture. Where we are from, the people that make up our biggest support group for our brand, the people who have ridden with us since day one, Generally speaking, abortion, women's rights, anything that falls into those lanes, we support women making the decision. We don't support the government dictating the decision. I say we because, as the owners, this is generally how we believe. Me, Mitch, the leadership on our team. Everyone obviously is entitled to their own rights, their own beliefs, but within our culture, we support the women decision to do this, and this is absolutely insane to me in my thinking here. To force women of quote unquote childbearing age to produce a negative pregnancy test every time they go to buy cannabis medically. Within 48 hours, it has to be dated. Fucking disgusted by our government sometimes, man. Fucking disgusted. All right. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. Please share your thoughts, bro. This is insane. Up next, I have to talk about it. I have to bring it up. You guys, the parent company, Jay-Z, the parent company, the market closed last Thursday, okay? It delivered its financial result for the quarter. Guess what they posted? Net sales were $39.6 million with a net loss of $50.6 million. The sales were essentially flat from the third quarter where sales were $39.7 million, okay? So what's crazy, the adjusted EBITDA loss for the quarter was $27.5 million. For the full fiscal year of 2021, the net loss for the parent company was a whopping $587 million. $587 million, okay? Now, this isn't a report coming from respectmyregion.com. This is a report coming from greenmarketreport.com. They are the cannabis industry's premier business, finance, digital publication. And again, a eye-opening $587 million was lost, okay? You guys, this is absolutely insane. Now, I gotta talk a little bit of shit about the parent company, just the smallest bit, because it's a cool-looking brand with a really cool celebrity with so much going for it. Yet, they posted a loss of $587 million. That, my friends, is called running a business poorly. That, my friends, is called not doing things correctly, right, effective, efficient. It just absolutely blew my mind. Let me go ahead and post this on LinkedIn real quick for you guys. Don't miss this episode where I go crazy because the parent company blew through $587 plus million dollars in 2021, okay? Absolutely crazy. So let me get you guys, let's get back to this. Next story. I'm not going to read any more of that story. I don't want to read about negativity like the parent company losing $587 million. All right, coming next, hightimes.com published this story. Hemp feeds for cattle can reduce stress in cattle. So there must be something that can be said about hemp and the cannabinoids that are inside of hemp that can reduce stress. Now, I'm not sure what these cattle are usually eating, but I find it interesting that we still haven't figured out how to reduce the stress for cattle at scale. So we've got a creepy picture here. Kansas State University has been doing some livestock feed studies. Industrial hemp can reduce stress levels in cattle, according to a recent study. Previous research at Kansas State has shown that plant matter from industrial hemp has favorable crude protein and digestible profiles, potentially making the crop suitable for inclusion in cattle feed. Another study revealed that cattle readily absorbed cannabidiolic acid, CBDA, after being fed hemp flowers produced for CBD production. Michael Kleinhans, assistant professor of beef production at the Kansas State University College of Veterinary Medicine, says that the previous research has implication for the viability of industrial hemp as a livestock feed. Quote, if hemp is to be utilized as an ingredient in the ration of cattle, it is prudent to know and understand the the pharmacokinetics and potential biological effects of cattle exposed to repeated doses of cannabinoids present in industrial hemp. Kleinheinz and a team of researchers decided to study whether the cannabinoids present in industrial hemp would have an effect on the stress and activity levels in cattle that were given feed containing hemp. And I quote, cattle experience a variety of stress and inflammation, noting that animals that are being transported or weaned are particularly vulnerable. So there was a study. Good things are happening. Good things are happening. All right, what do we got next? Shout out the High Times for covering hemp feeds. Oh, here we go. Another story coming out of High Times. Adult use cannabis sales officially launched in New Mexico. Hundreds of customers lined up as New Mexico shops opened their doors for cannabis sales at midnight on Friday. The New Mexico adult use cannabis market is officially open for business. After the clock struck midnight on Friday, newly minted cannabis retailers opened their doors to customers eager to make an inaugural purchase. It's been a long time coming. You know, the fact that New Mexico is the 18th state to legalize recreational cannabis use for adults is an exciting time. They've got a Democratic governor, Leon Grisham, who signed a bill enacting the law last April. It really does open up economic opportunity for states like New Mexico, states that don't have huge tourist population, states where it's primarily driven on, I would say, the local economy, the local trends, the local buyers' habits. But now, what people can go to New Mexico, they can visit the tourism things, and they'll be able to safely consume cannabis and safely purchase it, thanks to their laws. So, big shout out to New Mexico, and congratulations from all of us across the country. This is an exciting time, and we're very excited for you guys. Up next, this one hitting a little bit closer to home for me. You know, for those of you guys that don't know, I live in Los Angeles now. I'm no longer in Seattle. Los Angeles ballot pushes to lower marijuana taxes and to bolster social equity. So there is a new ballot measure with the hope of lowering taxes and redirecting some cannabis revenue towards social equity. The ballot would lower the city marijuana business tax rate from 10% of gross receipts to a 3-tiered tax system based on revenue. So that's huge. It would establish a new marijuana business tax rate of 6% for companies with 3.5 million or more in revenue, 2% for those with 300,000 to 3.5 mil, and a flat tax of 1,000 for those with $300,000 in revenue or less. It would also create a special city fund to direct financial aid to cannabis social equity license applicants. This is important because oftentimes the cities, if there is going to be a social equity program, they're not going to do much to set you up for success. There's not a lot of opportunity. There's not a lot of resources. They don't do introductions. They don't help you make sure that your business is going to succeed. So what's the point if the city is not going to empower you? Also, there is a direct marijuana tax revenue to be spent on community reinvestment funds instead of being sent to the city's general fund. So they want to propose that a direct marijuana tax revenue will be spent on the community that it's actually in versus having it go to the general city fund. We want cannabis to go directly to the funds and to the areas that it's supporting. And the last but not least, dedicate a funding stream for combating the illicit marijuana market with civil means, such as shutting off power and forcing landlords to stop catering to unlicensed cannabis businesses. So there's a lot of good stuff going on. I really hope that we can get some things in the works. You know what I'm saying? Up next, the MORE Act. We have a MORE Act update. The U.S. House of Representatives passes a bill to legalize cannabis at the federal level again. So we saw this news breaking out the last few days. It's an exciting time again to be in the United States as the House of Reps are trying to pass cannabis at the federal level. Here's a quick update. 220 to 2 vote passing on Friday. Proceeded along the law party lines, with Democrats voting 217 to 2 in favor and Republicans 3 to 202 against. Political analysts anticipate that the bill will face significant opposition as it moves to the Senate for review. So, more specifically, if approved by the Senate, the MORE Act would also facilitate expungement programs for federal convictions surrounding cannabis. Additionally, it would impose a federal tax to create funds for social equity and small businesses. Moreover, it would also empower veterans to lawfully consult VA doctors concerning medical cannabis recommendation, among other things. We really need legalized cannabis. I hope that they can push this through. All right, my last two stories, y'all. What weed strains do rappers like to smoke? So this one, you would think this is pretty simple. You would think this is easy to know, but it's not, because rappers are always switching up the weed that they're smoking. Up first, Gelato. Young Dolph has a song called Gelato. There's other songs called Gelato out there. Girl Scout cookies crossed with Sunset Sherbet. RIP to the late Young Dolph. Young Dolph also just dropped a new track with Gucci Mane. Go check that out. And Key Glock. So definitely peep that, man. Zaza, another popular strain. It is the word exotic shortened to Zaza. They say, well, at least from the Zaza that's in California, there's a brand called Grand Cru. They've got a Zaza strain. They say that it's rare dankness #1 with Blue Dream. I'm not sure if that's right, but I like it. Big shout out to CJ and his whoop-dee, but da-da-da-da-da-da hoot-dee, whatever he used to say, and that shit goes hard. And then rappers are also known for smoking that pressure. All right, South Florida coined this term. Exotic Genetic took advantage of it, named a strain after the word. They crossed Sunset Sherbet and Mint Chocolate Chip, and they also created Gary Payton. So super exciting for that. We also have the Runts strain, that is Skittles and Gelato. Leafly's 2020 strain of the year. Jet Fuel. Mac Miller was always talking about smoking that jet fuel, but I never ran out of jet fuel, and you shouldn't either. You know what I'm saying? Hybrid strain from 303 Seeds. There's popular strains like the Jet Fuel Gelato out there now. San Fernando Valley OG Kush and East Coast Sour Diesel make up that one. So big shout out to Jet Fuel. We also cannot forget the Biscotti strain. Biscotti was one of the most popular strains on our website for a few years. Indica dominant Gelato 25 in South OG. It's heavy, it's gassy, and creamy. Last but not least, the Girl Scout cookie strain was really coined from Burner and a number of other rappers, crossing Urban Poison. Burner, Jadakiss, Future, Snoop Dogg have all talked about smoking. I've smoked cookies. I've smoked Burner cut cookies. I've smoked other people's cuts of cookies. Bro, I love smoking cookies. All right, let me just tell you guys, I fucking love smoking cookies. All right, and last but not least, Detroit Dispensary Pleasantries is having a one-of-a-kind potency test, Battle of the Bands. This article, written by Mitch Pfeiffer, shout out to Mitch for writing articles he's not supposed to write, came out and has a cool little potency test, Battle of the Bands article. And we classically have a typo in this as well, so love it. Pleasantries is giving out a cash prize and free studio time. It's super dope. Battle of the Bands events are new, aims to actually provide value past a crowd of people and drink tickets. This is dope. So if you happen to be in Michigan, in Detroit, make sure you guys visit Pleasantries. They're really supporting local music. They're supporting live music. They're giving out a bunch of cool cannabis specials and promos and things. So definitely tap it in. April 9th. Check it out. For me, y'all, that's all I got today. I really appreciate y'all for hanging out. As always, it's an honor to be talking cannabis, CBD, psilocybin, and music with you guys. And so without further ado, we're going to let Hannah come back in and do what she does best, which is give us great content. So here we go. Take it away.
Everybody. Great job, Joey. Thank you. Hi, everybody. Got some more cannabis news, some psychedelic news, some music news for you guys. I'm going to jump right into the cannabis news. First up, we got Cookies expanded to Australia. So they partnered up with RELEAF Group, which is a decently big cannabis company over in Australia. They have some dispensaries in Victoria and in Queensland, and they're looking to expand. So it looks like they're going to have some of Cookies products on their own shelves, and they might even be opening actual Cookies dispensaries over there. So, I mean, they say Relief Group will launch dedicated cookies lifestyle dispensaries and cookies corners inside all Relief dispensaries across Australia. So this is huge. I mean, Cookies is one of the biggest cannabis companies in the whole world. They're in, I think this would mark the fifth country that they're in. So it's great to see this brand that is known worldwide expanding. So products are available for, people that know the brand but never had access to it. So it's cool because, with Australia being definitely not at the forefront of cannabis legalization, I'm not sure how good their cannabis is over there. I don't think it's, quite as good as California weed. So they're probably super excited to get some cookies weed over there. So we covered that over on Respect My Region. So if you're looking to read more about that, head over to our website. And we also cover cookies news all the time. So if you're ever looking for the latest cookies news, definitely head over to our website. And strains too. We cover a lot of their strains. They're always dropping fire new strains like their Khalifa Kush collaboration that they just dropped, Baby Powder, which we covered. But yeah, on to the next. Next up, we got Weed Friendly Hotel to open in Las Vegas on the Strip. So there's no definite date for this because though on-site consumption of cannabis products at dispensaries and lounges have been permitted in Nevada, a bill has passed, but it's not fully legal yet because they haven't finished putting in all the regulations. So it was supposed to go into effect October of last year, but it's got delayed a bit. But it's on the horizon. So there's a lot of companies that are still, planning and already starting to build their lounges and whatever innovative areas that they're putting together, such as this weed-friendly hotel. So this is not the first weed-friendly hotel out there, but so it is going, or it's owned by the same owner of a Phoenix-based cannabis-friendly hotel, the Clarendon, which we covered in the past if you want to read more about that. So Pro Hospitality Group owner Alex Risk purchased the 64-room Artisan Hotel, and he has plans to turn it into a weed-friendly hotel. And it looks like they're starting renovations within the next couple months, and they're supposed to be done by September. So we're hoping that this will be just in time for full legalization of consumption lounges in the state. And there's also some other companies working on their consumption lounges too, such as Planet 13, who's working on their 20,000 square foot lounge. And currently, New Woo Cannabis Marketplace actually does have a consumption lounge. It's on tribal land. So I believe that's why they're allowed to kind of bypass that and are allowed to do that. So yeah, very excited to see, the entertainment capital of, I believe, the world or the country have, places to comfortably smoke weed with other people smoking weed. I'm heading over there for Life is Beautiful in September. So I'm hoping that that's all open by then, and hopefully I can enjoy that and I could, put some reviews out on that and let you know about it. Yeah. So next up, we got a little bit more cannabis stuff. We got Higher Woman podcast. So this is one of our brand new podcasts. It's actually about the same age as This Morning Joint. I think we're about 10 or 11 episodes into the Higher Woman by now. Writer and assistant editor Maddie Forbes runs the Higher Woman podcast, and it is celebrating influential women in cannabis and the music industry. And pretty much every Wednesday at 6:30 EST, Maddie hops on Zoom, or not Zoom, on free stream, on a live stream, to interview these influential in either cannabis or the music industry. And just talks about their journey, how they feel about the plant and legalization, and, how to make the industry more equal, kinds of stuff. Very knowledgeable woman. Maddie kills it. Super entertaining to, watch, and educational. So if you head over to this article, you can see a little summary of each of the woman that she's interviewed. So you can see a summary, see which you might be interested in. Then right under is a YouTube video of the replay, so you can get the whole episode right there. Some of the guests that we've had on the past include Kristen Yoder of The Cynical Stoner. We got Marianne Kursetji, hopefully I didn't butcher that, of Alibi Cannabis, Maha Haq of Green Thumb Industries, Amy Deluge of The Green Seed, Rochelle Gordon, who is a cannabis and psychedelics reporter, Brianna Gatling with Swank Public Relations, Wendy Baker with Space Jams, Lindsay Bartlett, who is a cannabis writer, freelance and with Forbes. We got Tamika Drew of Biko Flower. We got Adrian Kern of Ash Society. And lastly, we got Luna Stour of iSpire. So all very influential, inspirational women. So go check that out. Check out the rewinds, check out the live. And yeah, that is all I have for the cannabis news. I'm going to go into a quick little psychedelic news, and then I have some music news for you guys. So today in psychedelic, psychedelics may ease cancer patients' depression and anxiety. So we've been seeing a ton of different, in the past couple of years, there's been so much new research on psychedelics and how they could be promising for different mental health conditions, from PTSD to depression to anxiety. These drugs that have been banned for that were banned decades ago, that have been banned, are now, coming to light because so many people have reported positive effects. So people are doing so it looks like this is a practicing oncologist that has an emphasis in cancer treatment. So he's treated a ton of different patients, but he's also involved in these clinical trials to see if psychedelics could reduce anxiety and depression in cancer patients. And they've reported really positive findings, pretty much saying that different patients reported that after their psychedelic trips that they felt less anxiety about death, less depression about what's going on in their life. Their perspective has changed, various different things. So you could read about this over in post. Again, it's called Psychedelics May Ease Cancer Patients' Depression and Anxiety. So I have some music news for you. So we got Cascade and Deadmau5, two of the biggest EDM artists, headlining artists. You'll find them on tons of different bills. I've seen both of them multiple times at big festivals. So it looks like they're joining forces. I've been hearing little rumors about this for a while. There was rumors that forces as a band, but it looks like they're joining forces as a DJ duo. Makes more sense. So they're going to be called KX5. Not sure how that's pronounced specifically, but it looks like they're going to live debut at EDC Las Vegas this May, and yeah, that's about all the information I have on that. But it's really exciting because two of the biggest DJs out there, very loved DJs, always killing it. So very excited to see what they're cooking up. Next up, we got 10 female DJs elevating EDM through innovative sounds. So these are 10, this is a list I put together. These are 10 of my favorite female DJs right now. Some of them I've seen live. Most of them I've actually seen live. And then just, following them on social media, seeing what they're up to. A lot of them are just great people, entertaining, funny people, very personable, just all around great people. So first up, we got LPG. She's a born LA-based artist and DJ that broke onto the scene in 2018 and has quickly become one of the fastest rising EDM artists in the world. So she's the founder of Femme House, which is an educational platform that empowers women through resources that teach them how to create music and navigate the industry. So she is working hard to create a more equal industry. And she's brought on a ton of different women onto her platform to help her with this platform. Next up, we have 100 Drums. Thunderous, ground-stomping sounds make up 100 Drums. She blends together hip-hop, psychedelic bass, and indigenous hand drums together to create a cohesive yet explosive cadence. She brings underground music to the mainstream, performing on main stages at Buku and other festivals. We recently caught her at Okeechobee. She killed it. Next up, we have Not Low, who we also caught at Okeechobee and Halloween and Firefly. She's everywhere. Not Low is literally my favorite DJ right now. She's awesome. We have an interview upcoming with her hopefully this week. So keep an eye out for that. She has just deep and distorted deep bass sets. It's incredible if you like bass music. Next up, we got Vale. She's a fast rising dubstep DJ with a dark and mysterious yet intoxicating sound. She has toured globally. She's toured all over the country. I caught her at Okeechobee and at Firefly doing back-to-back sets with Not Low. And she's currently on the road with Liquid Stranger. Next up, we got Rez. A lot of people know Rez. She's grown to be one of the biggest EDM artists right now. So she's a Ukrainian-Canadian DJ/producer, most known for her moody and innovative production style. She's headlined main stages, performed at some of the best venues in the country. She's currently in the middle of her Spiral tour, which is in support of her Spiral album. So yeah, definitely check out Rez. I've seen her a few times live and she's always just mind-blowing. Next up, we got Honey Love, who's from Cleveland but now living in LA. She's performed at large festivals such as EDC Las Vegas, Desert Hearts, and Audiotistic. And she also hosts her own radio program called House of Honey. Next up, we got Penny Wild. She's more than just a DJ. She's also a choreographer, digital marketing director, and producer. She's choreographed for artists such as Zed, Rich the Kid, Marianne Hill, Weird Al, Gucci Mane, and more, and has performed at big festivals like Coachella, South by Southwest, Hard Summer, and more. Next up, we got Lucci, who she makes bass music that is just morphed and distorted, very kind of alien sounding. She dubs it space bass, and she's performed at big festivals across the country as well. Over at EDC Orlando recently. Next up, we got Closey. She's been my favorite DJ for a long time. She's from France, and she's been touring globally around the country for as long as I can. I've seen her multiple times. She is incredible. She seems to be everywhere all the time. But her genre can be described kind of as world bass. Last up, we got Hershey. Hershey's super dope. She is also a beatboxer. So she'll go on stage and she'll DJ and she'll beatbox. And she's been doing this for a long time. She's been beatboxing since she was 11. She's a very strong online presence. And yeah, there's just, everything to love about her. So that is everybody I have for you for female DJs. And, Women's History Month was last month, but that doesn't mean that you should stop supporting women. Women's History Month every month, baby. But last up, we got the 2022 Grammy Awards, which took place last night. I liked a little bit of it, caught some Lil Nas X performing. Who else was? I can't even recall, but lots of stuff going on. My parents are in Vegas and they didn't even know Grammys were going on. So they were running and seeing all these fancy people and they're like, okay. But I was like, yeah, no pictures. And like, they didn't know who any of the famous people they were seeing were. But yeah, the Grammys were last night. We got a list of winners here. I'm just going to go over just some of the ones that are more relevant to our genres. So very exciting. Baby Keem, literally repping Baby Keem right now. He won for, I don't want to butcher this. I'm gonna just pull it up. I believe it was like best single or let's see. Best hip hop performance maybe. Okay, yeah, best rap performance. We got Baby Keem with Family Ties. Super exciting. Love Baby Keem. We always show Baby Keem the support. We've covered him on our site if you want to read more about him. But yeah, we got Record of the Year. We got Silk Sonic with Leave the Door Open. Very well deserved. We got Album of the Year, John Baptiste with We Are, which I admittedly have not heard. We got Best New Artist. This is a really tough category, but Olivia Rodrigo took the win. But we had Baby Keem, The Kid Leroy, Glass Animals, all in that category. We got Best Pop Duo Performance, Doja Cat and SZA with Kiss Me More. We got, let's see, Best Pop Solo Performance, Driver's License by Olivia Rodrigo. Not surprising. We got Best Rock Song, Foo Fighters, Waiting on a War. We got Best Rock Album, Foo Fighters, Medicine at Midnight. Best Alternative Music Album, St. Vincent, Daddy's Home. Best R&B Performance, Silk Sonic. Oh, there was a tie. Silk Sonic, Leave the Door Open, and Jasmine Sullivan, Pick Up Your Feelings. Best Traditional R&B Performance, Her with Fight for You. Best R&B Song, Silk Sonic, Leave the Door Open. Best Progressive R&B, Lucky Day, Table for Two. Best R&B Album, Jasmine Sullivan, Hoax Tales. Let's see, Best Melodic Rap Performance, we got Kanye West with Hurricane, feat. The Weeknd and Lil Baby. We got Best Rap Song, Kanye West, Jail, feat. Jay-Z. Best Rap Album goes to Tyler, the Creator, Call Me If You Get Lost. Super well deserved. Love that album. Everybody loved that album. But he was up against J. Cole, Nas, and Kanye West, so definitely a hard category. Best Dance Electronic Recording, we got Rufus Du Sol with Alive. This was a pretty hard category too, with Bonobo, Caribou, Tiesto, all in there. But love Rufus Du Sol, definitely deserved. Next up, we got Best Dance Electronic Album. This was definitely a bit of a shock for most people that are EDM fans, because a lot of people were really expecting Millennium to win this one, but Black Coffee took the win with Subconsciously. So it was exciting to see. Let's see what else. We got Country, not very relevant to us, even though my cousin was very excited about that last night. Let's see. I think that's about it for hip hop, EDM, and the relevant genres to us with the Grammys. So that is everything I have for you guys. We'll bring Joey back in here and we'll wrap it up. Hope you guys soaked up some solid news today. And here he is. Hello. Goodbye. Hello.
Double tapped on the keyboard there on accident. Yeah, thank you guys, everybody, for hanging out again. This is the Monday morning joint. We hang out, we share the news, we talk about crazy stories. We are doing this every single Monday. So if you guys have any stories that you guys want us to cover, any specific things, if your business has some exciting news, please free to tap in, send it our way, drop a comment, send us an email, info@respectmyregion.com. You can put attention Hannah. She'll definitely keep her eyes out and peeled for any good stories. Hannah, some crazy stuff in the world right now. What are as a woman in the South, what are your thoughts on that Alabama situation?
Yeah, that's pretty ridiculous. I mean,
could you imagine?
I don't know. Like, are they saying you need to do a pregnancy test every time before you go to the dispensary? Like, I can't believe that they would put women through that much of a hassle to just get their products. That's like,
within 48
it's unfair.
hours.
It's time consuming. Someone's calling me. Spam number. But yeah, definitely totally against that. If men don't have to do an extra step like that, I don't see why women have to. There's no other state that requires that. So I don't know why Alabama is like feeling the need to do that. Even the other southern states, like I'm from Florida, Florida doesn't have any sort of requirement like that. When you go and get your license, you just go in, you tell them, about your stuff. You give them your license, your information. You don't have to do a drug test. You don't have to do a pregnancy test. So it's pretty absurd that Alabama would just kind of bring that out of nowhere when it's not a thing. I don't know if that's a HIPAA violation, but it kind of sounds like a bit of a HIPAA violation if dispensaries are allowed to see your pregnancy test or whatever the case may be. I don't know if it's just through the doctor, but either way, it's an inconvenience. It shouldn't. It's kind of pointless. But it's also interesting.
Trying to protect women. That state is anti-abortion, anti-affecting kids, and in all the different ways, right? So it's like this is one of the random ways that they can still control aspects of all that various
Yeah,
overlap women.
like I feel like it's with like scientific stuff and more to do with just the fact that they want to make it more difficult for women to live in Alabama.
Just
I
wild,
think
man. It's
more what
so
it's about.
disappointing. My
But
heart
it's
goes
very
out to all the
interesting.
people in Alabama, man.
Yeah, it's very interesting to see that because just I think yesterday I saw, I think it was Arizona. Let me pull it up because I sent it over on Instagram. In Arizona, or let's see. Yeah, Arizona, medical marijuana use okay during pregnancy if mom is under doctor's care. So it's not, this isn't saying that they're encouraging or allowing moms to smoke cannabis while pregnant, but this article is pretty much saying that when this mother that has her medical marijuana card, this mother who birthed her baby, and you know, when you have a baby, the hospital has to do drug tests on it for legal reasons. So when they drug tested the baby, it came back positive for marijuana. So they were trying to get her in trouble, but she had her medical marijuana card, and the court ruled that since she had her medical marijuana card, that she's not going to get in trouble. She's not going to get her baby taken from her. Not that it's necessarily encouraged for her to be smoking cannabis, but at least she didn't get in trouble. But it was definitely a gray area because she didn't tell her pregnancy doctors that she had her medical marijuana card. But so it's a very interesting situation, but it was definitely, I guess, cool to see that the court ruled that since she was under the care of a doctor with her medical marijuana card, that she won't get in trouble for that.
It would make sense that that would be the case. However, it
Yeah.
would appear that our governments will do everything that they can to infringe rules that make sense for their personal agendas or what they believe the agenda should be based on whatever. See, like that Alabama situation, it's a new era is being ushered in, and it's people that are afraid of change in their own regards. And so they're slowly, and quickly in some cases, losing control over a lot of different things. And we need more of this change. We need better cannabis rights, better women's rights, better equality across the country. Alabama, get your shit together and catch up with the rest of the country and stop placing these scary rules that literally, not only this, do you know what that does to the black and brown community down there in Alabama that cannot afford pregnancy tests that frequently? What are they supposed to do? That means that they won't have access to the product. It means that they won't be able to do that. So what are they going to do? Black market, traditional. Their money will be spent in unsafe situations and unsafe product, creating an illegal economy. And so it's just all counterproductive. Absolutely horrible. So
Hmm.
you guys, thank you again for hanging out. We really appreciate it. Hannah, as always, thank you for curating a really great lineup of content and stories. If anybody has any questions, email us. Feel free to tap in, like, follow, subscribe. Hannah, killing it
Peace.
today. Love you all. Peace.